go. We've started the live stream. Okay, yeah, we are running live. So it was just
Sweet.
like one of those, you got to double check things.
Yeah, of course. It's better than losing like half of it. Yeah.
But this, even though like we are running live and everything, and I'm getting the link and that, this is the best part about it is the people when they watch they can see that how real this is. That nothing is actually planned.
Yeah, it's one to one. It's just what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now
It would
you,
be more awkward to try and script this and like it would be far more awkward and cringy to try and script something than just talk about something. So
dude. I'll be honest with you. Scripting stuff, I've never been a fan of. Um, but now, like my internet has decided to become very slow. So let, let's let's hope
yeah,
this
that was
works.
kind of one of my concerns as well because I had to kind of get into the snake room to get away from the 3-month-old, which
Mm.
would have made this video a lot harder.
No, but I don't know what's going on. Like my internet is never this slow, especially to like open up YouTube and everything. I'm just like, eesh, what's happening? Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Whew. Videos. Yeah. Now my next goal is to learn how to set up a what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
Like a Comcast, like a device or
no, no, no. Like a scheduled live session.
oh, okay, yeah, got you.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun once
Yeah,
I've got that one.
consistency is the most important thing when doing
Yeah.
anything like this. So yeah, that'll work well.
Okay, we are live with Liam.
Yo, how's it, guys?
Okay, so let me just get the session up here just so then I can watch out for questions. I think that's the most important thing. Okay, Liam, I've sent this through onto the Designer Pythons group. I don't know if you want to
Awesome.
jump
Yeah,
on
I'll
and
share it around a little bit.
um, okay,
Let me just.
all right.
Awesome.
Okay. Alright, I'm closing everything else down just so I've got our session up so I can watch for Q&As and everything. Alright, so Liam, whilst we wait for people to join us, obviously they'll probably be catching the tail end of this.
Yeah.
As you said, you're quite comfortable on camera, so am I. It's we're so used to it. But first off, I don't know if you can actually, or if you got YouTube open, but I mean, what do you think of the new setup? I think that's going to be the most interesting thing for everyone to see how I've actually changed the setup from the standard Zoom look.
Yeah, it would be cool to get everyone's feedback. It'll especially help for people that don't have the virtual backgrounds because obviously then they still get some exposure for their logo. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, I definitely like it.
yeah. It took a little while, a little bit of planning and everything, but we got it right. We got it right. Okay, Liam, we're already up to 7 people watching, so let's get it going.
Awesome.
All right. So to everyone watching at the moment, it is slightly delayed on my side. I do apologize about that. So if you do send questions through and I take some time answering, please just forgive us. Hopefully it's a nice smooth stream for everyone on the other side of the internet. Okay, so Liam, tell us who you are, how you got into this, just a little bit of background information about you because um, you are, I don't want to use the term new on the scene, but you, you've got quite a little
Jump
powerful
fresh,
collection.
yeah.
You got quite a powerful collection already.
Yeah, so I'm definitely new. Like I'm still learning every single day, so that's kind of where I categorize myself. But it like kind of all started, I guess, when I guess my passion from it spawned from my older brother used to be breed bearded dragons. So he used to take me to like a pet shop when I was younger,
All right.
and I was always obsessed with snakes and just it was kind of like my something I loved being around and. When I tried to get my first snake, my mom was always terrified. So the answer was always no. You can never have one of those, which just made it worse because that's exactly what I wanted then. Um, and yeah, over the years, just kind of always stuck with loving snakes. And eventually, I think 2016, 2017, I bought my first normal ball python. um, and then from there, I just kind of got more exposed to content creators and like stuff like World of Ball Pythons, Morph Market. Just kind of got more exposure as I went, and then it's kind of just the passion kind of burnt me. There's nothing else to it really. Um, yeah, that's kind of how the passion started. And then in terms of getting my collection started and kind of building Respawn Reptiles, I actually have a DJ to thank like a lot for that, because when I first started, I had no introduction into the community. I didn't really know anyone or what I was doing. I just kind of sat on Google learning as much as I could.
Yeah.
And I went on to Morph Market, and under stores, you can obviously see a morph map of like who has the most up for sale or where they are or whatever. So I found DJ's profile, and I kind of treated it like a job interview. Like on Monday morning at 8 o'clock, I like called him. I was like, "Can I please have an appointment to come view your facility?" I had like a notepad with all these like questions written down and like stuff I wanted to focus on, and like key things that I thought I'd need to know, because all of the information I was finding online was from guys in the States.
Yeah.
So I knew if I was going to take this seriously, like I needed to know South Africa. So I didn't even know who DJ was at that point. Like I just called him up, like expecting, like I don't know if it was a pet shop owner. Like I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And then I scheduled an appointment with him. I came through, and I literally had just one normal ball python in a full on like an enclosure, a full on tank. And I got there, and he kind of gave me a run through of how to kind of build myself up, like where I should focus on with my foundation. And I took notes and kind of paid attention to what he had already done, and then kind of went on my way setting about on my own projects.
Nice, man. Sorry, I just want to comment something quickly on one of our YouTube watchers. We got told that the video just needed to catch up with our voice, but it's sorted now. And just FYI, Bryce, you're going to be on here very shortly, buddy. As your time's coming. Sorry, I just had to throw that one out to Bryce Broom from Righteous Reptiles, that he will be doing a session soon. Because, I mean, that dude's got some serious knowledge on venomous stuff. And, yeah, I can actually learn a lot from him. There's some awesome venomous stuff out there. Sorry, I derailed us a little bit. I apologize about that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to watch that as well. So
yeah, but Respawn Reptiles, how did you come up with that?
So basically I was like I guess semi-pro gamer for a couple of years. Like I was competing in tournaments around Africa, and like I've always been like a gamer.
Okay.
So I kind of took the idea of Respawn, which is like obviously reviving in a game, combined it with some portals. Like I don't know if anyone's played the game Portal, but you go in one end and come out the other.
Yeah, I can see it in the R's and the E's.
Yeah, combined that with a clown ball python. It's green because it's something different.
Yeah.
And then just kind of ran with it. Like I kind of went in doing exactly what I wanted to build, because I wanted it to be part of me, you know. Like I've always been like, it's a playful logo because it's obviously graffiti, and I've always been someone that I've always wanted to be like approachable and someone that you can like have a good time with, and like just it was kind of just trying to build the brand around the person that I am as best as I could.
Well, all I'm gonna say is your logo is actually really, really awesome. I really dig it. Like seriously, I dig it. I'm looking at mine going like, now mine just looks like amateurish.
My designer must have been extremely annoyed at me, because every time he sent me like a version of what it was, I was like, no, like change something. Like I just kept making changes, and eventually he was like, nah, like this is what you get and keep it.
Oh no, that's awesome. But now that we got quite a few people on board and watching, guys, what do you think of the new setup that I've got here for our live stream compared to what it used to look like when I did it with DJ, JP, and Monet? Just let us know. I was just trying something tonight, and I would love your feedback on that. But yeah, so Liam, what has been your main focus in this hobby? When I say main focus, I'm like, sorry, I'm talking about like, are you more going for the incomplete dominance stuff or the recessive side of the world? Because I know you're very big into clown. I can see it from your
Yeah,
logo.
yeah. So definitely recessive. Codoms are definitely. I still think codoms are powerful. You're never gonna escape that. They just improve on recessives. So, for me, it's always been clown. The very first snake that ever caught my attention in like a big way, and actually was like a massive inspirational part of this was when I saw the Batman.
Yeah.
Um, just I couldn't like the second I saw that snake, I was like, I have to work with that. Like I
Mm.
need one of those in my collection. So then I started looking into other clown projects and kind of just seeing like the potential of clown. And obviously, around the same time that I was joining like the industry, which was I'm guessing 2017, that is when clown kind of made a big introduction into the market. So
Yeah.
that was also kind of it was an easy next step to take. But I think even if it ever dies down, I don't think I'll move away. Like
Mm.
there's other recessives that I like, but clown is I don't know. It's just always caught my attention.
Yeah. No. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to venomous, listen to me, to venomous stuff, to ball python mutation. Sorry, I'm reading the comments and like trying to talk at the same time. At this time of the night, I can't multitask. I just need to accept that fact.
Hey,
Um,
it's the weekend. What are you gonna do?
yeah. So, clown and pard will be the forever base recessives, as far as I'm concerned. Um,
Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah. And by the way, also why I was thinking venomous is Bryce has also agreed that your logo is one of the coolest, as well.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, dude, you definitely have started building up quite a little powerhouse collection there. I mean, you're sitting with some clown mutations that I don't even have, and obviously I'm not that big into the clown projects. I'm more the pod stuff. Um, but from what I've seen that you posted on the groups and that, dude, looking good, man, looking good.
Thanks. Yeah, I kind of went in with the plan before I even started, so I made notes of specific animals that I knew I needed, and I knew I wanted some animals as females and some as males, and I just
Yeah.
kind of waited for like the perfect moment to kind of go for them, and then others, if I just saw a really good example, even if it was a het or if it was a vigil, I couldn't resist because like when you see those animals that just work like beautifully, it's
Mm.
hard to say no. So.
Yeah. No, but the way I'll be honest with you, the way you started is definitely the way to start. Rather than diving head first into the hobby, you did your research, and I think a lot more people need to look into that before they actually climb into the project.
Yeah, I agree. So so I started alongside a bunch of other people that were also new to the community when I started, and I was noticing like a trend of it's this is a very passionate thing that we're
Mm.
involved in. Like you see something and you're passionate, you're excited about it. So people would see something and then buy it and then be like, okay, where does this fit in my collection now? Whereas I had a notebook done when all I had in my collection was a normal. Like
Yeah.
I sat with DJ for like as many times as I could before I even bought my first snake. Um, I went because I knew DJ was specialist. Like he has a high focus on recessives. I spent a lot of time there, and then I also went to Graham from SNA, who focuses on codoms. Also went to spend time with him and just kind of learn how he approaches things when he's mainly dealing with codoms, as opposed to how DJ approaches the project, which is long term with recessives.
Mm.
So I did like everyone always sees these like facilities like JKR or Billy from Mutation Creation, and that's what they want. But then if you don't build the foundation, like as solid of a foundation as possible, by the time you get to that point, everything's going to have crumbled. So my whole idea was build the best base that I can.
Correct. And I must say, Graham from Snakes and Adders has also got a pretty cool collection. He's definitely. I get along with the oak. I haven't seen him in a while. He's been very, very low profile.
Yeah,
Um,
he is.
but I've got a lot of time and respect for him. There was something I was actually going to ask you, but oh yeah. So what I was going to say is the way you started by gaining that information. You know Quinton van der Bank from here in Durban, Reptiles for Africa. I think it is. Quinton, correct me if I'm wrong. If I apologize if I said the name incorrectly. You can slap me later. Um, but he did the same thing. He came over and I think he spent a good 3 hours here. We literally just stood in the snake room. I kept offering him coffee. I kept offering him something to drink. But no, he just literally wanted to be a sponge that day and just gain as much
Yeah.
information as he could. And now when I go look at his setup now, I'm like, dude, you bloody surpassing everything. So that the concept of knowledge as power is definitely a good thing in this hobby and this industry, because it only just makes your breeding better, your projects better, and that's what's going to be driving and pushing everyone forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. The work you do in the beginning, you're going to see results for
Mm.
years and years to come. Um, this is my first season, so I'm still in that stage of like just learning as much as I can. But from what I can tell from people like Kevin McCurley and the people people that have been in doing this for ages, you never really stop learning. Like there's
No.
always going to be something that's going to come up that you can draw from, and just as long as you always have the desire, I think that's what'll make someone big in this. Well, at least that's my theory.
Mm.
Again, I've only just started, so
Yeah. But at some point in time, you're going to become like a little mini vet yourself because of all the knowledge that you've gained. I think that's also where a big benefit comes from, being able to look after your animals where the smallest issue comes in. At least you know how to sort it without having to like freak out over the smallest thing. And
yeah,
that is definitely the route to go, is to know how to look after your collection no matter what happens. And
yeah, no, I agree.
from the research you've done, definitely. Um, to the people out there watching, and to you, Liam, if you can get a hold of the complete ball pattern by Kevin McCurley,
I have it.
oh, have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm assuming that cost you a kidney, a liver, and a lung, possibly.
I have that one and the Ultimate Morph Maker Guide. My sister lives in New York, and I see her every couple months. So if people ever need, I'm not like offering this to like hundreds of people, but if anyone ever wants me to bring back one or two, I
You,
can.
you've just realized you've just said this online for the entire world to see. People are
Yeah,
now going to be messaging you.
yeah. A couple at a time is okay. They weigh like 3 or 4 kgs a book, so just go easy.
Yeah, well, the complete morph guides by Kevin McCurley, that's like half a house already.
Yeah, it's
I,
half your travel allowance.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I owned that book for a good whole 30 seconds before somebody bought it from me. Literally, that's how badly people wanted that book. Um, because it is such a good book to have. And it's just like, I got the book in my hand and people like went, oh, are there any more? I'm like, no. They're like, can we buy from you? I'm like, sure. Like, there you go. There's the
I don't
book.
want to say yes.
I think it was even at a Durban Expo. I think I had enough time just to like read the foreword of the book, and then somebody bought it from me. I was like, no, that's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they kind of, I wouldn't say outdated. They're definitely from a different like era, but the information just it's invaluable. Like
Well,
it's
the in the complete ball pattern, the genetic side about the mutations, like the butters, like starting from the albinos and working through, that's outdated. But the information from getting the ball pattern through to illnesses, through to breeding, through to understanding of genetics, that is never going to change, and that there is pure gold.
yeah, I agree. Kevin is every time like I have a moment to grab information from Kevin that I can, I'll take it. He's he's a very interesting guy, but I would love to spend a day with him.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just hold on one second. Okay, so here you go, Liam. This could actually be quite a good question for you as well, especially just starting off. So it goes, just a quick question that maybe both of you can answer. What are your biggest tips for people who are new to the reptile breeding business? So what are some of the tips that you've learned that you are willing to pass on?
Okay, so for me, the things that have helped me the most so
So
far
just
was
just ignore the fact that I'm drinking alcohol. The fact we allowed alcohol in South Africa again is like I'm taking as much as I can.
enjoy it. But yeah, so the things that have helped me so far is I kind of went in with a plan and knew exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to dive in head first, so I didn't buy a single subadult. Every single snake I bought in the beginning was a hatchling. I've raised them up over the first 2, 3 years, and now they're up to breeding size, and I know my animals like the back of my hand at this point. Um, and the last thing I would say is build good reputations with people. The people I've dealt with, I've made sure I've never wasted their time. I've never, um, there's never been a doubt when they've been dealing with me that like as in the overall experience, and I think that that's been very important and has helped a lot.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with you on that one. If you're going to be starting your collection, start with hatchlings. It's once you've got the hang of it and you've learned how to read an animal's behavior, then start moving into the sub adults and adults. Because when you're just starting out and you buy an adult, you're not always going to know the animal's temperament, and
Yeah,
you don't know how to deal with it should something go wrong. Where at least with the hatchling, like basically the way I look at it and I explain it is, when you buy a dog or you get a dog, are you going to get it from a puppy or you're going to get it from a shelter where you don't know what the temperament is like and you're going to have to work with it to understand it and get it to trust you.
yeah,
By the
got
way,
you.
I
So,
do promote people taking animals from shelters, but it's just the analogy that I use.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, some people will argue like, oh, if it's already an established snake, I don't have to worry about this with feeding or whatever. But for me, I was like, okay, I want to go through as many of the like difficult things as possible, because then I'll know them for myself.
Mm.
Like, it's one thing to like you can always ask people and lean on people, and there are definitely people in South Africa that will help you. Like, it's been an amazing
Mm.
community, but there's nothing that'll ever beat firsthand experience. And I can tell you, like I've gone through moments with these snakes where I've been like, okay, is this normal? Like, is this what should be happening?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Um, so I don't quite know how to say that YouTube name, so I'm not going to try. Hopefully that answered your question. So, as from a tip from both of us, is definitely start off with a hatchling, and preferably if you can, if you're going to be getting into the hobby for as a breeder rather than a collector, maybe start looking at getting females to build your collection because a female takes a lot longer to get ready to reach sexual maturity than a male does.
Yeah, 100%. I bought the first year I was buying it was all females. I didn't start buying males until this year. So I already had a full rack of females that were getting up to size, and I kind of had a gauge for them before I
Mm.
started looking at males. And also, if you're doing that, you're getting better value out of your males because a lot of the higher end projects will come down slightly in price over that year or two, and then you're able to kind of, when it matters most, put everything to like for the best result.
Yeah. All right. So this isn't a question on YouTube, but I'm just going to ask you anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So we here we are talking about starting off with hatchlings and talking about starting off with females. If you had the choice, okay, let's just say you have got a bit of a budget restriction, but you've got something like a clown female versus a pastel inchy hair clown female. Let's say they're the same price. Which
Yeah.
would you take?
So
And
that's
why? And
complicated.
why? I know what I would do, but I'm asking you as somebody who's just started out to get your input for anyone who's watching who's thinking about it.
So look, if this is like my, is this like my first snake, or is this something like add into my collection now?
Let's say you are just starting off and you want to build a collection for breeding purposes.
Okay, so what I did was, and this will be my reason, I went for the het route because I was getting a lot of value out of the genes that they had, and I wasn't concerned about getting a payoff quickly. Like obviously, if you go for the visual route, your projects are gonna produce visuals a lot quicker. All of the projects that I had planned were long term anyway, and I saw value in the hets that I was gonna get because I was gonna get powerhouse visual males. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, because that's exactly the route I would go as well as you. As I would take that like pastel NG head clown female, grow it up because I know down the line I'm going to be able to get a either a visual clown or a visual clown plus something else male, which will then just benefit that female that I've got. And
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, but also I must say like I need to practice what I preach in a way because I don't always do visual to head. I always do head to head or pass head to head because I like that gamble. I like that risk. Um, I know
Yeah, I
it's
don't blame you.
yeah. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. Sometimes it does. I mean, I'm taking huge risks with some of the projects that I'm doing, but I mean, down the road, if the gamble pays off, it benefits me big time.
Exactly, yeah. So the second animal I ever purchased was a pied posset clown, and I was kind of to follow that mentality.
Mm.
I knew I wanted to work a double recessive in at some stage, and like this was just it was like that opportunity of if this pays off, like it can pay off really well at a really good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Is I've also got a pied posse clown, and he's going to so many het clown females because I don't have a visual adult clown female. So it's a big gamble. I'm just hoping that it pays off. Um,
Well, I mean, if it does, and like, he's going to a lot of females, then at least it hopefully pays off more than once.
yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for at the moment. But yeah, I mean that's just the way you've got to look at it. And I mean, yes, at the moment it's a huge gamble, especially for the market, because a lot of people want to be at the front of the game quickly, but a lot of people need to realize that this hobby, industry, business, whatever you want to call it, it's it's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. I think that's what a lot of people forget.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And it's actually something that goes along with that point is which is could be another good tip for other people starting out, which I've kind of been told by a lot of people, and I know it's going to ring true, is don't be afraid to like deviate your plans if you need to. Always try and plan for a backup plan, but if something doesn't go your way, just make a good the best decision you can. Like
Mm.
everything's not always going to work out. Not everything's the odds aren't always going to hit, but as long as you always prepare, you should always get the best of the situation.
Correct, correct. Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I mean, I help a good friend of mine, Steve, plan his season every year, just to help maximize the genes behind his breeding. And Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I think I was there in December. I was up there in Joburg, and then him and I sat down. We sat through everything. We planned the season. We got it ready, wrote it down, and then just before lockdown, as you know, I was going to come through and interview you as well. Then we sat down. I looked at the breeding plan. I pulled that list apart. I threw it away. I said, "Let's start again." Um, just because that what made sense back then didn't make sense now, and you got to always just stay focused. And yes, deviation in breeding and that works, but you've got to maximize that deviation.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, you always got to have a backup plan. Like if you have to make the best out of a situation, nothing's always going to go perfectly. It's just about making the best of it.
Yeah, and also you can get thrown quite hectic curveballs in breeding. I know for a fact because I did a pairing about 2 weeks back, and I paired this awesome male to this het female to make some poss heads, and the female wasn't a female; it was a boy. So
Yeah,
that derailed my project big time. I mean, um, so I've had to change the plan, and I've maximized the breeding because I had the spotted fly female just lying around, and I'm trying to maximize the bearing. And what many people would look at as a bit of a loss because now the project takes a little bit longer to try to prove out. I look at it as a win because now I don't have to pick one boy to put back to mom. I can now pick
yeah.
out multiple baby females to put back to dad.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually had the same thing. I know of this happening to someone else this season, so kind of made me reevaluate things, and I try to get other breeders out to try and sex my collection because I'm obviously still kind of new with that whole
Mm.
aspect. So I got thrown a curveball or two, and well, it resulted in positives on both ends. So I really can't complain. I was gonna only shoot for my Batman next season.
Yeah.
It turns out that a leopard blade clown female that I had turned out to be a male, and I have a spot nose het clown female. So that just moved my Batman plans up an extra year. So I'm
Dude,
hoping we'll see.
that's like an ultimate bonus right there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but like talking of these curveballs, we've actually just got a comment here from Ant McKenzie. I mean, dude, if you can meet at one oak and check out the collection, you got to meet Ant McKenzie. He's really awesome. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so he basically says here, like I've learnt, not all females will go for you as well. always have a backup plan too. So I mean, that's the other curveball. I mean, I've got one female at the moment. She's being completely stubborn. I've tried 3 different boys with her, and she's not giving up that tail. I'm like, I literally just want to like spark her water bowl with Viagra or something, but like the lady version of it. Um, I've often thought about lighting scented candles and putting on Barry White and setting the mood, but
Just really trying to drive it home. Yeah.
yeah. So you've just got to look at. You've always just got to have a backup plan, and you've got to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, sometimes even a plan Z. So you've just got to be prepared, and I think that's what a lot of new people need to understand. No matter how much you plan, no matter what you do, it something is going to happen that's going to change your ideas, change your concepts. You just need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And hey, even if nothing goes with your plans, just react as best as you possibly can. Just reevaluate, like you said, tear up the whole page, start again, and see what you can make out of it.
To the listeners out there, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my planning. I'm actually trying to find one of my key elements. Oh, just hold on.
Cool.
So when it comes to planning and prepping, these glass markers, okay, my window in my snake room looks like a Picasso drawing. I write all over that window just to do the planning of preparing, and then at night time, because then I can see the writing clearer, I take a photo of it, and then I wipe it off and I start again. So
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting way to approach it.
yeah, so that to me has been one of my successful ways of planning my season. And sometimes whilst I'm at work and I just don't feel like looking at a computer screen for a little bit or doing any form of marking, quickly pull out my phone and I start typing pairings in my notes on my phone. And then I get back home and I see, okay, does it work, doesn't it work? And that is something that people need to understand as well. It's you need to plan not just for the season, but 7, 8, 9 years down the line. You need to be able to make stuff for your projects, should I say, that will work year in, year out, and not just a one year.
Yeah, 100%. Gavin from Balls to You actually said something along those lines that really helped me stick with it, which was something along the lines of basically, if you're always breeding snakes that you want in your collection, you'll never be sad about a snake sitting in your racks, like no matter what it is. If you're working towards your project, it's never going to be, oh, I bred this because I was going to sell it and I'm stuck with it. It's, okay, I have even more chances to better my own project.
No, definitely. Yeah. And people don't get the concept, like you're online, you're doing a live video, and they just WhatsApp, they phone, they're like, you cancel the call. Sorry, that's what's happening to me right now. I'm like, just leave me alone.
Yeah, catch the hint.
Yeah, and one of them's probably about work, and she's actually just sworn at me too.
Oh, lovely. Hey, it's weekend. You're off. It's fine.
Yeah. No, but sorry, that was a complete and utter derail right there.
Curveballs, right?
Yeah, but that's what I like about doing these sessions. I hate planned sessions. I want this to try to be as real as possible, and I mean, that's what this is all about. It's the session. I love the questions that come from YouTube and everything, but this whole concept is it's just 2 people just talking absolute garbage, and a little bit and a little bit of common sense as well.
Every now and then, yeah. There's a nugget or two.
Yeah, no, but definitely. I mean, everyone has commented that what we've been chatting about has been quite useful and quite interesting. Hopefully, some people have learned from my little tip of the glass markers. They are super handy, and they work just as well for expos as well when you write on your display units.
Yeah, that's actually something I'm really excited to eventually need to purchase. That's something I'm hoping for next year, but we'll see how this year goes.
What display units for expos?
Yes, I'm excited. Like it's going to give me an extra chance to interact with people and kind of show people what I'm working on, as opposed to just like sending a picture on WhatsApp, like, hey, look at this. Like
Mm.
it's going to be like this is the result, and I'll be able to take like a bit of pride in like the work, because it's been 2 or 3 years that have been very like patient.
Yeah, yeah. That again, that's where that whole concept of it's a marathon, not a sprint, coming through right there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now, obviously, this isn't a question from YouTube, but like I wanted to also get this from you as well. So you're working a lot with clown. From what I can gather, you got a little bit of pod. Um,
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
what is your next big recessive that you want to add to your collection that's in South Africa at the moment? Not from overseas, but that's currently in South Africa.
So I love Puzzle and Desert Ghost, but I don't really have Puzzle. I have a route to work back into Clown, so that I'm okay with. Desert Ghost, Clown, I've never really like I love Desert Ghost as a whole, but I haven't really loved what I've seen from Desert Ghost Clown. I mean, obviously it's awesome. It's a double recessive. It's going to be awesome all day long. But when I look at a project, I try and think of like how much further you can go with it. And for me, that'll be for a recessive, it'll be Puzzle. And then I'd say my two favorite other genes would have to be Hurricane, which is obviously overseas as far as I know, and Cyprus, which spoiler alert, if people don't know yet, I'm guessing will be available more widely in South Africa in the next year or two, which
Mm.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see who picks it up when it comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if things go according to plan, I might be proving one of my boys as Cyprus. So
Ooh,
let's hope on that one. Just a spoiler
there's
alert to
still
everyone out there.
yeah, I know of a few people that have Cypress in their collections, but none of them have like publicly like mentioned it yet. So I'm guessing in the next couple months or years, we'll see like a nice little injection of that into
Yeah.
the market.
Well, that high OD entry ivory that I've shown on my Instagram and on the designer Python chats and that is possible Cyprus. So I will only know when he breeds and produces
Breeds,
babies,
yeah.
because it's kind of hard to see a lot of genes in a white snake.
Yep.
So let's see. I'm hoping improves the Cyprus, but I'm not actually holding my breath in honesty. It's just if I
No,
get it,
yeah,
I
it's
get
better
it.
to get it as a bonus than to try and expect it and then kind of be like mildly disappointed at the result or whatever.
Oh, listen,
But
I'm
yeah,
still gonna
no,
be
it's
disappointed
always.
if I don't get it. But I mean,
Oh yeah, no, fair enough.
the fact is, I'm working with high OD. To me, that was priority one over anything else at the time.
Yeah, high intensity OD is beautiful. Like the fact that you can like barely differentiate it from a super, and yet it's a single gene
Mm.
is that's powerhouse as it is.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Since getting that snake into my collection, every other OD stock I've just sold. I don't want any. I don't want to mix the bloodlines.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, got you.
so yeah, but I mean that's just the way it goes. You've just got to understand like how the different genes work together. That's why I've just sold the plain OD stock.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've got quite a lot of OD in my collection. Some of it looks a bit nicer than the rest of it. But I don't think any of it's high OD. I'm just excited to work with good quality OD. So we'll see where that road leads.
Yeah. Another sad spoiler alert. I don't know if you've seen that fire spider OD that I used to post on my Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no longer in my collection. I sold
Oh,
it.
well, I mean, yeah, you have to make sacrifices sometimes, all for the greater good.
A really really good friend of mine here in Durban got it, so I'm quite stoked. So I can still go view it whenever I want, but it's like when I want to like pick it up, like it's mine. Like okay.
Yeah, you gotta like kind of make that separation.
Yeah, that's the only downside to it. But yeah, man. Alright, Liam, it's kind of like been a bit of a long day for me. So I mean, I've really enjoyed this. I mean, we've been doing this for about 40 minutes already. Um,
Yeah, roundabout.
yeah, I think what we're gonna do is, if it's okay with you and if it's okay with everyone else, just start wrapping this up. If there is any last questions or anything for Liam, please just drop it. I'm gonna let this run for about another 5 minutes and then gonna call it a night. Yeah,
In one of those days.
dude, it's been one of those weeks. You honestly have no idea. Um, just so that people get an understanding. I mean, a lot of people know that I'm at tertiary level lecturing, but I'm also in the IT side of the lecturing. So I've been running every other person's live streams via Zoom and YouTube. Um, and yesterday, YouTube just like spazzed out completely. So two of us could stream two different live sessions on YouTube, and then all of a sudden they just started crossing. Like my session would play for a little bit, and then somebody else's session would come on, and then another
Session.
person's, and like you start freaking out and you start panicking, and you're like, "What the hell is going on?" So yeah, that just destroyed my brain yesterday, and I haven't quite recovered because we spent quite some time trying to work that one out.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
But yeah. Alright, Liam, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the live stream. So if you just hang on for a bit, just so I can thank you for your time and that, it'll be really awesome.
Yeah,
So
cool.
to everyone on YouTube, thanks for watching. I'm sorry about this being a little bit shorter than normal. But Liam, I'm definitely going to invite you back again.
Yeah, I would
It's
love to. It'd be cool to catch like an update with everything as it's happening because this is all still new to me as I go. So wherever I can help others, I'll do my best.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely say it's been a lot of fun having you on here. That's why I'm definitely going to be bringing you back in due time. Um, I've got a few secrets coming up with people who I'm going to be interviewing. I just can't quite let everyone know just yet. We're still trying to finalize. And then the last thing is I'm changing this from a weekly thing to every second week. It just gives me a little bit of a weekend just to enjoy a full weekend. So I've started this now. Yeah, it's just a case of let me just have one weekend every second week. But yeah, I'm not stopping this. I'm just making it a break every so often.
Yeah, it
But
gives you more time to kind of prepare for the following week.
mm,
So
yeah, as I say, there is a bit of an interesting guest coming at the end of the month. Um, yeah, just watch my Instagram and that, and yeah, you'll find out who it is soon enough. Now,
is this where
unfortunately,
you drop? Was this where you name drop Justin or something?
no, 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 no. I'm still working on that. I'm still working on that one. But yeah, all right, Liam, thanks for joining, and everyone online, thanks for joining us there as well, and thanks for the comments. Thanks for keeping us updated and entertained. It was really, really awesome.